More and more people are really struggling here in the United States to put a roof over their head. A lot of people are not able to qualify for apartments or purchase homes. They're having a hard time. They are becoming homeless. And a lot of people are even finding more creative ways to try and keep a roof over their head. Some people are even looking at storage units. Check this out.
Been living in my car. Now I'm living in a storage unit. Trying to get an apartment, but can't right now. I'm at the storage unit, finna get me a storage today. I'm feeling mighty proud of myself today, you know. Yeah, you can see the building right here. I ain't gonna really show everything, but yeah. I'm looking for the smallest storage unit. How much is the smallest one? Just got the storage unit. I think I can put my, thought I would have a bigger one, but I think I can put my bed right here or whatever. Man. Got all my stuff in. Gotta get some. I lit this up when I get hot.
I'm homeless by choice because I got tired of spending all my money on rent and I need to save some money. If you're new here, I keep most of my stuff at this storage unit, but I also have an office where I have access to Wi-Fi, a refrigerator, and pretty much everything else I need 24/7. I have 2 jobs and I also sleep at work, so that definitely helps. Keep in mind, the office and work are 2 different places. Now, I am really active in my comments, and I noticed that a lot of moms were saying if they didn't have kids, they would be doing the same thing, and I definitely understand. For years, I just felt like it had to be a better way. I did not want to work, go home, take care of the kids, barely sleep, and still have to pay all these bills. My kids are older, so it worked out to where I was finally able to put myself in a situation. So although I sleep at work, I rented this office because I just don't want to be in one spot all day. We have offices starting at $300, so it's nowhere near as much as I would be paying for rent. Whenever I do come here, I have 24-hour access. I can use the bathroom. We have a microwave, refrigerator, Wi-Fi, and everything else I need.
Hello, good morning. Can you keep your door open?
Yeah.
Okay, because we can't have it closed like that. It has to be open, wide open at all times.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Everything okay?
Everything good?
Okay, yeah. If you don't mind opening it, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
Man, I had to bring him here. I ain't want to do it, but I mean, he chilling, man. This is where we at for the night. We in the unit. You know what I'm saying? Shelter, he be tripping, man. His behavior, he on a bunch of weird people there. He don't really like it. But here, he got his own world. He got the TV, he got the bed. He chilling. So he got the moat. You know what I'm saying? We gonna thug it out. We gonna slide out in the morning, do what we do. Ain't that right, boy? We gonna do what we do, ain't it? Huh?
So life update. I'm living in my car. My little S10. This is me. Stay home for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I don't know what to do. And I don't really have anyone. I toured 2 apartments yesterday. I won't qualify for them because you have to make 2.5 times the over $1,200 rent a month. And I don't even make the rent a month. I've never been homeless before. But you know what? This is a really good story. Like, I can only go, I mean, I could go down. But like, I'm gonna go up from here. Cause then, like, I'm broke and homeless at 21. But like, that makes for such a good story. When I'm like super successful and rich and like doing so well and have so many people. I'm gonna have such a bomb starter story. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, I was broke and homeless at 21. And look where I am now. Boom. And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like, wow. Go you. I just gotta make it through this part. But this part like builds resilience, character, all that shit. I'm gonna be so funny after this. I'm gonna have such a good personality. I'm gonna be equipped with so many skills. I'm gonna be so smart, crafty, nifty, and cool and funny. And it's gonna be so good. I just gotta make it through this part. Just checking in, I guess. I mean, I'm just life update. I don't.
I'm broke, I'm 18 years old, and I live in this small little vehicle. Today, we were finally able to get the front seat out. One of my coworkers at Jack in the Box ended up taking it out for me, and I'm so thankful because I could not do it on my own. And of course, I wanted to record for you guys the whole process of taking a whole seat out, but I was embarrassed to ask him if I could record him, and I also don't want anybody from work knowing that I do TikTok. Anyways, after taking the seat out of the vehicle, I cannot believe how spacious it looks. I know a Fiat is a very small vehicle, but it literally feels like a small RV, and taking out the seat just made my life way easier. I don't have to be hopping or jumping to the front seat to get things. I love it. I think I'm gonna get like small little cabinets from Walmart so I can organize my clothes. Somebody asked me where I park, and I do park outside a coworker's house. I give her $50. She allows me to use her electricity, but my car isn't running and I need something.
So it's really hard to watch these types of things because growing up here in the US, I felt that there were so many opportunities, that this was the land where people can afford the things that you want as long as you work hard for it. And I'm not saying that that's not the case nowadays, but it feels really out of reach for a lot of people. And it is definitely getting harder for everybody because prices are just continuing to go up everywhere, all over the board. And housing is definitely not an exception to that. And so sad that now there's even, you know, people looking at storage units or living maybe in an office space or different things like that. And you have to wonder, how long is all of this really going to go on for? How long are people going to be living in their vehicles, living in storage units, not being able to get into an apartment, not being able to purchase a home? You wonder, is it going to turn around anytime soon? It's really hard, and it's really difficult on the younger generations because even when I was growing up, the opportunities were much different. Today's day and age, things are really hard, and I feel for the younger people because I mean, back in the day, you could work a regular job and be able to afford an apartment. Nowadays, people are working 2 or 3 jobs to be able to afford the cost of living. And it's not just the high prices in a city, even rural living is getting a little bit harder for everyone as well. So it's really too bad. I think people need to continue to be creative and find ways to be able to put a roof over their head. I'm a big believer in moving in with family if you're able to, or having roommates, or finding creative ways like that to be able to stay afloat. I know it's really hard out there, but it's surprising to see how things are really going here in the United States. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? What would be your suggestions for people that are really struggling right now? What do you think could be helpful to them? Let us know down in the comments below. We can get a conversation going. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.
You're going to want to like, save, and share this beautiful shed tiny home. The last one got 1 million views, and this one is even better. I even have 2 16x40 layouts at the end of this video. But first, step into this gorgeous tiny home living room with a little wood burning stove. And yes, it's insulated, just like your house, spray foam, whatever it may be. You have the barn door and a beautiful full-size bathroom. Skip the tub because this is something you can grow old in. So you have a sink, toilet, and a shower. Details are gorgeous. This is tiny home living. So this is your master bedroom. And if you notice here, full kitchen, everything that you will need to make this home. Would you live in a shed home, tiny home? Let me know. Share this with a friend and enjoy these layouts.
About 8 years ago, I decided I wanted to move into a box truck just to cut down on rent and be a little more mobile. I came across expedition vehicles, which are pretty much big 4x4 trucks, and those are kind of what I based this design off of. The reason I want to go that route is because they're super sturdy, they can live in multiple environments, and they're spacious.
Folks, it's time to think outside the box. Not the usual. Think outside the box instead of the status quo. You know, the evil, wicked rulers of this world that has been given control of it for a set period of time assigned by the Most High. The 1%ers, the 1%. They have a goal of depopulation of the 99%. And you're gonna need to be creative in the natural, and you're gonna need to obey the spiritual God, your creator, so that when he returns, you can escape this and you can escape his wrath. When he comes to set Israelites free from their captivity of all these other Gentile nations who are also their enemies. Now, I don't know if any Gentiles can be saved. I think they can. And they need to obey the God of the Israelites. And that's all that you need to be focused on, is trying your best naturally to survive and being creative. And in spiritual, you need to obey that God of the Israelites and do all that you can. Because you're in a spiritual war. We're in a spiritual war. It's not just natural, it's spiritual. With bio warfare set against us. And we have to try to be successful for us to survive in some type of way. And that's the only two things. The next discussion coming up will be the Homeowners Association annoyance. That was bad enough itself. I wouldn't want to move into a community that had a homeowners association. And you'll see why if you don't already know in this following video. We already had that to deal with before this. But this New World Order was already set. It was set way back. And the World Economic Forum and these wicked idiots, they always had this plan. But it's coming up in the next video. The following video will discuss the annoyance of the Homeowners Association program.
Left fighting for their homes. This comes after an ongoing battle to figure out where their mandatory HOA fees are going.
And with more than 2 million Georgians living in communities with HOAs, Atlanta News First investigates Anastasia Almos is here looking into your rights.
That's right. There's little to no regulation under current Georgia law. An HOA can file a lien on your home, actually in court for any amount owed, and can foreclose on your homes when that lien exceeds $2,000.
But it was very hard. It was hard.
Michelle Bernard remembers the challenges she faced buying her home.
When I came searching in this subdivision, I was advised that I could not afford its subdivision by the realtor.
He was wrong, but 2 decades later, the business owner, wife, and mom says she feels like she's still fighting to own the home.
It doesn't make any sense for any hard-working individual to go through these things.
Michelle lives in Channing Cove, a subdivision of about 40 homes in Conyers.
This is considered our community absentee common area.
With 3 of these common grass areas and this retention pond, original homeowners agreed to $100 annual HOA dues, what Michelle describes as reasonable. Today, they're $200. But
they have forced people to pay thousands and thousands of dollars and have never provided proof that they owe it.
Fines and
one of the most frustrating things can be an HOA. They have all the power. They can levy fines. They can foreclose on you. They have so much power. And reading your HOA addendums and your bylaws is so important. If I could tell you one thing in real estate, you read them through and through. And this is what happens when you give power to those that shouldn't have power. They corrupt absolutely. And there's so many horror stories on HOAs.
Fees for things like pond maintenance and replacing garage doors without HOA permission. Michelle and at least 2 other homeowners tell Atlanta News First investigates they've asked for receipts and bank statements of where the money's going, but they've never received it.
All they send out is a typed up Excel spreadsheet and want you to believe whatever's on that spreadsheet.
And when they refuse to pay, the fees start to rack up. Court records show the HOA has placed liens on 5 homes for unpaid balances. 2 homeowners tell
some of these things are like the good old boys club. They don't want you in the neighborhood. They'll just start fining you. And what we're seeing in some of these HOAs is if you go against the HOA or you try to fight these fines and you happen to sue one of the board members or one of the ones that levied the fine, some of these fines are accelerating, and there's something really wrong about that, and be careful about it. And you'll see some of these HOAs just come up with rules in the middle of the night and on meetings on a Wednesday afternoon that can have some real teeth and really affect you. And a lot of times people don't pay attention to these meetings until it affects them, and then it's over. And you'll see how to really fight these people in a minute.
unless they've paid fees just to avoid losing their homes.
I told them, bring the lien, I'm bringing the lawsuit.
Michelle is one of 2 homeowners suing the HOA for the charges that they believe are fraudulent.
They're made up fees.
The community voted for this homeowner to take over as president last year. He wouldn't go on camera for concerns with his day job, but he tells us he resigned when he couldn't get a financial audit.
I'm not going to take over when I don't know what he's done.
That left the previous president, Orton Reynolds, in charge. I'm with Atlanta News First.
If you really started doing document requests on these HOAs, you would find out where did the money go? How did these HOA presidents do this? And you would find out a lot of them are spending the money in places they're not supposed to. Because when you go against these HOAs, you're basically going against your other neighbors because the dues they paid went to the HOA to fight you. And most of the time, the people that are running them have no education, no experience in running an HOA, and their documents are terrible. And if neighbors just banded together and requested documents, pretty soon they would run these HOA officials into the ground. And I cannot stress enough, find an attorney and fight these people because they get away with things they shouldn't get away, because when you fight them, it costs money to fight them, and then they'll levy the fines against you to fight them, as we're seeing here in this one.
Investigates. We are currently recording right now. We've received some concerns about the financials with the Homeowners Association, and we wanted to ask you if you're aware of the concerns in the community.
Don't know anything about any concern about any financial of the community.
Reynolds tells us they send financial documentation out quarterly, referring to these Excel sheets.
They claim the money has possibly been misused.
I would say that's an improper and incorrect statement.
Okay.
And not true.
Would you share the receipts and financials with Atlanta News First?
Receipts about what?
Under Georgia law, homeowners have a right to see all HOA receipts.
Georgia has a lot.
Of course, because they don't have them. Okay, in Florida, they've really started clamping down on this stuff. I don't know how Georgia is. Florida, I think the DBPR governs these things. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a dude, real estate agent out here talking about it. But they govern a lot of these things, and they've really clamped down on the rules, what you can fine for, and if you've got to show documents as proof and backup of the said fine. And HOAs are out of control with the power that they have, and I get why they do it, because the county doesn't want the responsibility of governing and policing all these problems, and I get it. But when you cascade power down to people that usually want it at these little levels, you get a real problem. You get constant infighting. You get people weaponizing the system against other people. You get cliques. You get all kinds of bad things. You get people walking around like they're law enforcement. And I've seen people get bullied, and I've seen some really bad lawsuits over this stuff. And it just seems unconstitutional to me.
Lot of HOA issues.
Real estate attorney Patience Casey Sadie deals with hundreds of HOA cases a year. Fines, fees, and liens top the list of issues.
There's no monetary limit. What the law bases on is reasonableness.
In Shannon Cove, residents question what's reasonable. Just days after we spoke with the president, homeowners received 2 new emailed policies prohibiting them from divulging personal information and making slanderous statements about other property owners. According to the policy, they must write an apology letter within 48 hours of receiving a warning, and if it's against a board member, that's a $1,500 fine.
They're trying to force me to settle the lawsuit.
See, they just start making rules, and these rules affect your ability to fight them. And the crazy thing about it is you usually have to get an attorney, pay for an attorney, not only pay for your fines and the interest and the acceleration on them, that it's rigged against you trying to fight it by yourself. But if you get all your other neighbors to fight it with you and you fight the good fight, you can stick it to the man. And many of these situations, I get emails all the time about people fighting the HOA. If you go watch my other HOA videos in Florida, basically, what they're doing with the condo associations. And in condos, like, this is a really big deal because they need to be responsible for the bad decisions that they had in the past that are affecting the assessments that are happening today on these condos. Many of these HOA board members, these condo association board members, knew there was a repair coming and it was going to be an assessment for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just sold before the assessment. And then they stuck it on the next person with the assessment, knowing it's going to come up in 6 months or a year or 6 weeks, and they just hit it until some fool bought it, and now they're stuck with it. People are seeing this across the board. Comment down below if you're having a problem with HOAs, what your problem is, because people learn from you in the comment section, and this is how they learn to fight against everybody. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a dude watching a video on his couch about HOAs.
Michelle's lien was for less than $3,000, but she says the HOA is offering her a $40,000 settlement, denying most of the allegations.
Why would they offer you money?
To make it go away.
But Michelle says a payout from the HOA's insurance isn't accountability.
I need someone to address this because it's affecting our community.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're forcing her hand. They're wanting to swipe it under the rug, pay you out with the HOA's money, which is your neighbor's money. And meanwhile, there's been no improvements on the HOA. There's been no grass cutting, no nice pool, no nice anything. They're just squabbling with each other over other people's money. This is insanity how bad HOAs have gotten. And in many places, the HOA dues are as much as the mortgage, especially in condos.
You heard there, it is complicated, but there is more to this story from both sides, and we're still investigating. As we've previously reported, there's currently no government office that oversees or investigates HOAs. We want to let you know that under Georgia law, you have the right to view financial records, including those.
It 100% affects the community. Not only does it hurt the property value of the other people in the neighborhood once you get a name for a bad HOA, or that one board member or that president that's just so toxic that everybody wants to leave and willing to sell undervalue to just get out of there, or that everybody's got liens on their property for grass or weeds or the most petty things. Only in America are we worried about some of the things we're worried about, and we create most of our problems. Like, this is wild.
Itemized receipts. You can request an audit, but the HOA does not have to pay for it. Late fees cannot be more than 10% of the fee or assessment. So
you need to know your rights. You need to know your HOA bylaws and everything that goes with it. Request them, read them. Understand you can request documents, okay? I would be out there, if this was me, I'd be wanting financial statements, I'd be wanting receipts, I'd be wanting anything that I can get from them to make sure that they're not spending money and embezzling money and doing things they're not supposed to. And then that president's gonna start doing things right. Make sure that those fines you are getting, they can actually fine you for. Make sure that you never give them ability to lien your property. And a lot of times when they lien it and they try to foreclose on it, they're selling it to their buddy. But that's all I got, everybody. I happen to be a real estate agent here on the Gulf Coast of Florida, Alabama. My email is down below. If you're looking for an agent, you're looking to buy or sell, or if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in the United States, I can help you find an agent. I'll do it for you. Email down below. And if you've got a problem with an HOA, put it in the comment section. Start talking about it. I want everybody to start arguing about what are your rights as an HOA or as a person with an HOA. How do you fight them? How are you getting results? Email down below or comment down below. And if you're in Georgia and you're seeing this, what are the governing bodies for Georgia? Like in Florida, you have the DBPR, and they govern a lot of things. They're starting to get more teeth as far as looking over the books of some of these condo associations, because they are 10 times worse, okay? Many of these things are, these buildings are completely bankrupt. Like they don't have the funding to cover anything, and they're going to wind up getting sold off for pennies on the dollar to some hedge fund equity company that's trying to create a portfolio of these things, or they're just going to crush them and start again, because some of these can't be fixed. But for the nice neighborhoods, understand everything there is about the rules. And try to get your friends to work with you. And odds are somebody in your neighborhood is an attorney. And that's what I would do. Go see the neighborhood attorney. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
You see, you never were free as an Israelite. You're right now at the bottom of the barrel. Though the Most High intended for you to be the leader of the world. See, you own nothing. That's why you're a slave. That's why you're in captivity for disobeying your God. You see, you can buy something as long as you're still having to pay on a piece of land, a piece of property. You don't own it. That's slavery. Your taxes, that's slavery. You're still paying property taxes. That's slavery. Extortion. That's a part of the curse in Deuteronomy chapter 28 of Israelites. Until the Most High overturns the curse and the punishment time is all finished and returns Israel back to the lights, back to the land of Israel, you're going to be suffering through these things. You're not going to ever rest from these things.